What's so special about Hero Bread's soft, fluffy, and delicious breads, buns, and tortillas? Hero Bread serves up 0 to 1 grams of net carbs, 5 to 11 grams of protein, and high fiber in every delicious serving. Made with natural ingredients, Hero Bread supports gut health, promotes weight management, and helps maintain blood sugar. Hero also drops other limited edition ultra-low net carb goodies like rich, flaky croissants and buttery brioche slider rolls. Head to hero.co to shop today.
There we go. I made my wish. I ain't gonna tell you what it is, but it's a good one.
Listen, whatever gets the greenery of flowing, all of it. What's up?
Yes, man. What's going on with you? I am different, very very different right now. I didn't tell you. So I made a mistake at work today, and the boss basically kind of chewed me out, and I was like, yo, like she's really gonna hate me when I put in this leave for this 8 weeks that I'm about to take, because
Oh,
I didn't take that. Yeah. So just to, I wasn't trying to spite her, but I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and do this now because right now it's review time, and I'm trying to miss that review because I told you before what they do is they like to do all the bad shit you've done recently before you do. So I was like, you know what, let me just go ahead and just bounce for like 8 weeks and come back and hope shit's sweet. So and they gotta pay me for it, which is dope. Yeah. What about you?
I am feeling like I'm getting back to regularness.
Mm-hmm.
Being that I'm here recording with you. An hour ago, I recorded with Paco. Um, had to get his virginity off of this thing. Um, I still have like the washer and dryer and the dresser at the condo, but for the most part, I moved in. I'm situating the living room.
Mm-hmm.
I need some motherfucking sleep though. Like I've been sleeping with my kids for the past 2 nights, and I was like, oh hell no, they sleeping in their bed tonight. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Make them go and sleep in their own rooms, get acclimated, get adjusted. The reason why
this,
is because we got a lot to talk about.
oh yeah,
We,
oh
we,
yeah.
we we got a lot to talk about. But like first we need to actually say congratulations on you getting your spot. I know I said it a couple days ago to you, but yeah, people need
Thank
things, and a home it's not a thing. It's a privilege, and it's beautiful. I'm jealous, but I love it. I need that. I want to be you when I grow up.
you. Listen, you never know how much shit you got until you got the space to lay out all your shit. Like I have a lot of shit, and I'm just like, how the fuck did I have this in like a 2 bedroom condo?
Hmm. See, that's where I'm at now. I'm at the point where we have shit where I'm learning that I don't have space for it to the point where I've started to question if I need to get shelves. Once you start thinking about getting shelves for shit,
Yeah.
you have too much stuff. Like I told you, we have two crock pots because, we got the wedding crock pot that we can't get rid of because God forbid if that person comes over, they're gonna want to see that crock pot. Even though
Don't
we've been
be
married
feeling
2 years.
like you in jail for other people's shit. If it ain't what you asked for, you can get rid of it if you want.
Well, here's the thing. I wanted to get rid of it, but it's a nice crock pot. But then I ended up reviewing another crock pot. So that makes two crock pots. I got two Ninja grills. I got an oven and then I got a stovetop oven, which is like, wait, like how do you have a stovetop oven and then a regular oven? A company sent me a microwave and I was like, yo, I don't need a microwave. More importantly, I can't review
But you
a
couldn't set it
microwave.
up.
So yeah, oh no, I can honestly send it to you if you want because for me,
Oh no,
I don't need
I
it.
just bought a microwave last year. Not because I needed one, just because I wanted one that was new.
See, I want a stove that's new. I want a stove that I can literally like preset that shit from my phone. So all I got to do is get up when that
Oh.
shit's ready. That's what I want. Like
One of my best friends, he gets pissed off at me because I stick food in the oven before it's like preheated. Like it's gonna get there eventually. Like I ain't got time to be waiting for no goddamn beat.
yeah, what the fuck? Like no, it's already there. Once it gets warm, all I got to do is just take it out like 5 or 6 minutes, a little bit faster. Well, what's that setting on it? That technically that's called broiling, isn't it? Like if you put it in there under like a low temperature until it's getting ready, so it's broiling in reverse. So I don't see the problem in that.
don't know.
Yeah.
You
So
might be
hold
right.
on. We already have a voicemail. I'm just going to take a wild guess and say that this is Paco. So let me just go ahead and just press this button.
Just straight lazy.
See, we not lazy though, Paco. Here's
I
the
see
thing. Like,
Paco over there stuffing his face or something.
of course you could tell. Like I was like, yo, I hear the munching in the phone. Now all we need is him and Baylor in here at the same time, and hell gonna break loose. I know it. I know it without a doubt. So, so first we got to actually introduce ourselves. So I'm Greg, but I ain't important. The person that is important is the lady of the show, as always. Who are you, man?
The one where her sitting with her legs wide open, sucking on a fruit cup and gummy bears. I'm Shan from She Gets It Pod. You know.
And this is Loudmouth Stereo. I want to say this is episode 4 or 5. Either way, y'all are here. We appreciate you and the people who RSVP'd. I'm waiting for y'all to come in here because we got a lot to talk about. But this is the thing. Can is going to be the one to run the show today. I ain't going to interrupt until I get to one part because, yeah, I have questions and answers. So go ahead and just take the floor because, yeah,
Greg has
let me,
had drink. Warning, Greg has had drinks. All right.
yep.
So first, because it's everywhere, they got Amy motherfucking Corny Barnett is gonna be grandfathered in for Supreme Court. Okay. This is like
Hmm.
hiring someone as a motherfucking brain doctor surgeon that has less than 1 year of experience doing surgery and then saying, okay, come on ahead and just run this hospital.
Hmm.
So she's like the associate justice for Supreme Court. She is the reason why the LGBTQ community is or may lose their rights for certain things.
Hmm.
And I just feel like the US government and lawmakers are just on this motherfucking snowball of what else can we fuck up?
Yep.
Because it makes no
And
sense. Like, why would you put her in that seat?
they honestly don't give a fuck. Like I swore I wasn't going to, I'm not going to overtalk. All I'm gonna say is they don't care. We've gotten to the point where honestly they want to kill us all. Like they want to be the aliens from Independence Day, and I'm talking about the Republicans. So if there's a Republican in here, like I'm sorry, but first and foremost, y'all in office. This isn't a political podcast. So anybody who is thinking this is, it's not. What I am saying though is Jeff Goldblum literally killed all the aliens with Wi-Fi and like a stick of gum on Independence Day. However, y'all are trying to destroy us internally. Like it's almost like when people are like, do you want the world to burn? They do. They're literally like, how can we fuck shit up on the way out? They are that girl who has her gene mark scraped against your wall at the basement party. She's her.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that dark denim, bitch. You knew that shit was $9.99 for a reason.
exactly. Like, come on, man. Like, when I saw the alert come on my phone, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
it was a tweet, and I was like, okay, what's next? And somebody made a like proclamation on Twitter. They were like, "Yo, like I've missed the days when we could turn on the news and we didn't have to see the president every day." And I said, "You know what? I agree. I miss the days where I
In the
can,
fucking news though, like this man is on Twitter.
yo, I can't escape this motherfucker." And the thing is, people that I know that are family that aren't into politics, or the family who don't have a fucking clue about politics, they literally know all the hot, shit that's going on because of, their phones. Their phones be like, "Hey, Trump did this today." I'm like, "Yo, thank you. I got the same alerts. I appreciate it." You don't have to send it in the family Facebook group that, hey, he fucked up again. You know why? Because in 4 more hours, he's just gonna do it all over again. So
When
it's okay.
you're like, all right, I'm in the house.
Like I had to tell my grandmother because she has a thing of now she knows how to share Apple News. I was like, Grandma, you don't have to share all the news on Apple News. Trust me,
That's
we
all
all
old
got
people
those
do
same
is
alerts.
watch the same news over and over and over and over again.
Oh, my grandmother's the one that she'll watch like NBC and ABC, but Fox, she'll watch that shit just to talk shit to the TV. And I'm like, you know what? I love you so much, but they can't hear you. They not only can they not hear you, they don't care. Clearly they don't because I mean they just brought this lady in the office and like what was she on before? Was she like a desperate housewife or something? Like what did she do before?
I don't know. I
Me,
don't know.
me
She looks
either.
secretary
Bro, like
at all.
this for the past 4 years, they brought people into the office, and it's like, yo, they have Ben Carson doing a role that he has no clue on how to fucking do. More importantly, we have the president who don't know what the fuck he needs to do. But you know what?
He
Like I said,
does
this
have
ain't.
a role, Greg. He is Trump's African American friend.
Yo, I don't ever want to be the African American friend. Like, but more importantly, like, because here's the thing. So we didn't touch on this because we don't really do like news and entertainment and shit like that. So when I hear like Ice Cube and all them, I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to say I don't care because I'm not concerned. It's just I don't care because it's like there's going to be something worse. So when people are like, oh yeah, well, like last week everybody was like getting on Ava DuVernay, and then all of a sudden it transferred to Ice Cube. Now it's like, who can we blame now? Because it's election season and people are all pissed off. But I'm like, yo, like, can we just get through this, please? Like, I'd much rather get through this movie. That way I know I won't come back for the sequel. So just let's get through the first like hour and 40 minutes of this terrible trash ass movie. That way we can be completely fine. So.
All
I'm
right.
telling you.
So in lighter news,
Yeah,
Drake is getting ready for another album. Are you ready? Are we ready for
man,
that?
man, I'm always ready for a Drake album. And okay, okay, no, never mind.
I don't
I ain't even
think
gonna
a
touch it.
Drake album in cuddle season is safe.
It is, it is, and it's quarantine too. This is going to make men act right. Like I'm married, and I know for a fact I have to stay in the house. I ain't got nowhere else to go. However, when a Drake album come out, oh yeah, we gonna get real cuddly in this bitch because
Oh,
He,
shit.
I'm telling you, Drake is the only dude I know that I don't know if I want to do the bachata. I don't, if I'm going to go to a reggaeton. Like, I don't know what I'm doing
Right.
when I'm
I don't
getting
know
Drake.
what mood he gonna be in right now because if it was summer, he probably do some reggae-esque things. Now that it's winter, he probably gonna be singing on the chorus. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I don't know.
but I fuck with Drake. And the thing is, people have given me hell for that. They be like, Drake, why you like Drake that much? I'm like, yo, I don't have many other people to like. Like, Jay done retired. Like, DMX done got fat. Like, Busta Rhymes beefing with T.I. Jeezy ain't
I
made it.
like DMX with the meat on him.
But that's the thing. I'm not there. Like I'm not a DMX fan in that way. Like I'm musical for him. But for me, the music, like if you can't breathe while you're rapping, I don't want to hear that shit. So with him, like I'm a fan of
No,
DMX, the old shit. But at some point, I think like was it like Grand Dog or whatever the album was, like Grand X. After that point, I was like, all right, D, like you go ahead and you have fun with yourself. I'm just going to enjoy the memories. So,
I don't know.
but
I mean, I'll take a listen.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna take a listen. But when it comes to Drake, though, I tell any and everybody that will listen, like I'm listening to the entire album, and I swear to God, I'm that person that I can hear 6 songs, and it's the greatest fucking album of all time. Like people are like, Greg, like the album just came out at midnight, nigga. No, so what? Like it's still a great album. Oh,
Uh,
you ain't even
yeah,
like.
I'm not a album just released. Let me go listen to it
Mm,
now person. I take my time.
Oh, here's the thing. I take my time, but as I'm listening to it, I'm telling you how great this because I'm appreciating it in the moment. Like I don't have to be. I'm not that person. Oh, I got to hear it 6 or 7 times in order for it to be a classic. I know
Yeah.
for a fact that shit is good. The reason why is because it's my personal preference. And what I don't do is argue with niggas on Twitter. Like people on Twitter, yeah, they'll see that you're happy about the shit and be like, hey, nah, that Drake album's trash. I'm like, bro, like just like I said, I just listened to it. You just
Yeah.
hating it because you want to hate it. Like me, what's the dude? XXX Tentacion. I didn't hate on him. I just never listened to his music. Takashi, I liked 2 songs from him, but other than that, like I didn't like. I'm not hating on him. If he has good music, great. But let people enjoy things. But when it's straight come out, I'm telling you, I'm flooding Instagram story. I'm going to be that girl on Twitter whenever a Beyonce album come out, and I'm just giving you one line tweets for like 3 weeks of Drake lyrics. It's going to happen. You're gonna be like, yo, why is this man Greg like he's talking about I'm in a love entanglement because he's gonna mention that on the album that he's in an entanglement. If he mentions his son, it's gonna be fire. If he mentions Pusha T, I'm ready because I really want him to just flame
I
Pusha
don't see
T's ass up.
that. I'm doing that.
No, I need him to because at this point, like I mean, Kanye dropped a song a couple days ago. That shit was trash. However, like I know for a fact when this Drake album comes out, it's going to be flames. And the reason why is because Drake don't miss. Him and Chris Brown just don't miss.
Chris
But hold up,
Brown out 40 something
oh,
songs was ridiculous. We
I,
got voicemail.
Yeah, let's see what they got.
I love Drake, but I think Drake pandered the pussy too much. You know what I'm saying? He not even
Ooh,
that nice of a guy.
He
oh.
he he panders to the put. How does Drake pander to pussy? We pander to pussy. We as men, we should pander to pussy. Pussy is worth pandering to. Honestly, you can't spell pander without pussy. Therefore, like you need to pander. I just,
Oh.
Paco just hurt my feelings, man. Like he made me feel real bad about like feeling like a romantic. Like, oh, I'm in love. But the thing is, I much prefer like the Drake that sings and does the R&B shit because once he gets in his bag and he start talking about the shit that like I don't believe he's doing, it's still fire. He'd be like, "Yo, I shoot 10 niggas 10 times." I'm like, "Oh, this is Degrassi Drake, cool," but it'd be
Drake
fucking
don't
fire.
got gun residue on him.
Yo, I've literally heard Drake go from what was the album, the Views album, where he was talking about how he used to date Rihanna and he was still heartbroken, and then in the next fucking song, he's talking about like just shooting niggas and just being a part of the crew and hanging out in Houston and shit. I'm like, okay, see that's who I am. I'm that dude who's indecisive. Like I might literally go from the nightclub and be partying, and then on the ride home, I'm listening to like love talking slow jams and shit. That's Drake. That's me. So we
Playing
relate.
shot.
Oh, let me see. We
Yeah.
got one more voicemail.
Don't say we. You sound like Baylor over there, Greggy. You know?
See, Paco a hater. Paco is a goddamn hater. I'm telling you. Paco gonna say that shit, but I guarantee when that Drake album come out, he gonna tell the entire world how he don't fuck with Drake and he think Drake's soft. But I guarantee he gonna be listening. He be like, yeah, hey yo, you know what? That shit was kind of fire though. That was fire. He had like a 12, 18 hours, album. But yeah, about like 16 of them joints is flame. Yeah. And God forbid if one of Paco's favorite rappers, like who would be a Paco like favorite rapper like Jadakiss or like Paco gives me vibes of like he thinks like
Funny
Juicy
enough,
J's in the Juicy J has to be in Paco's top five.
UCJ
Gotta
is
be.
funny.
I fuck with Juicy J. I didn't fuck with 3 6 Mafia back in high school, and the reason why is because they came to our
What?
school, and yeah, they came to our school, and the thing is, like, I was so confused about not the music, but it was just like their personalities because they were so fucking nice when they came to the school. I was like, yo, like everything I hear is hit a motherfucker. I'm like, wait, but y'all nice. Like,
Hit
no,
him
I'm
up.
expecting y'all to, yeah.
That's Ari's
But
favorite song.
mm-mm-mm. I remember the days when we used to have fun, but no longer.
What next? What next? California is on fire again.
Ain't it always?
I just don't understand why people just don't move a little to the right, a little bit
Yeah.
more, and just let Cali just dry the fuck out and like the wilderness and just visit it whenever y'all want to be in the desert, because every fucking year it be the same thing and the same thing and the same thing, and people keep putting it on the motherfucking news acting like it's new shit. It's not new shit.
At
When are
all.
you gonna get tired of building back your house before you leave?
Yeah. Like no, nobody wants to like for me, every year, like you said, it's oh, this shit is on fire. I'm like, yo, every year though, the same shit's on fire? Like, why? Why is the same shit on fire? And more importantly, have y'all not figured out a solution? It's been what 4 or 5 years now since like that first like major fire in Cali. I'm like, yo, like, what are y'all not doing right now? Like, y'all need to
They're
go
in,
and like out. They need to outsource some water or something. Like, cause good grief, man. Like
they
all
live
that
right
funding,
next to water. All they have to do is find a way to basically recycle the shit.
but they don't want to. And I think honestly, I feel like somebody who lives in California, probably like Silicon Valley or something, they go into like, the bay and stuff like that, and they just purposely set shit on fire because they hate the state
I
of
mean,
California and the fact that the shit is so expensive. I think that's why that shit keeps getting set on fire.
listen,
It's the
if you
truth though. Like, yeah, actually, let
you're
me let
very
me watch my mouth. I'm gonna watch my mouth because Baylor gonna say something. He gonna come in here right when I start talking about California and be talking about Greg, like, you still mad about the Lakers? Yes, I am. Yes, I am, my nigga. I'm still mad, and you just gonna have to deal with it. Okay? Like, I'm
you
talking this right.
shit.
Oh, he's gonna come in here. He's gonna hear me and he's gonna be upset. But I mean, it is what it is, bro. Like the Lakers won the bubble ship, and it's fine. We appreciate California. We love all the good things that are in California. But we ain't gonna sit here and act like the Lakers won that shit just like it's a fair thing. We're not doing that ever in life. So yeah, there's that. But go check out that Drake album though, cause Yeah, fire.
Hmm. Okay. Let's see. You know, they changed this shit where you can't even see who's listening. Where the
Yo,
fuck you see that at? Oh, at the
oh,
top.
it's at the top. Now, here's the thing. Like, I guess, like, we can just talk about this for a brief second. This
Yeah.
stereo app, the updates that they keep changing, keep messing with people. It's like, why don't y'all toy with it in like a beta first before y'all go and just keep updating this shit? You keep updating it and it's not good. Like every update just gets worse and worse. Like you put all the leaderboard stuff at the bottom, right? But the
Mm-hmm.
issue is, like at the top, for example, if you press where it says live listeners, you click
Mm-hmm.
that and a menu pops up. The menu pops up, but when it does, when you want to go back down, you have to click the X that's on the right hand side. But you know what that's close to? The big ass end live button. So God forbid if you end your call because you tapped to see who was listening to you live. I think that
Asian.
was the it's the dumbest decision ever. I'm like, okay, fine. But then, we talked at nauseum about like the new payout structure and stuff like that. But I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
like what are y'all doing? Like for me, it's just a design thing. I don't even care about like the money stuff at this point, but the
Mm.
design, they kind of like ruined it for me. But I'm gonna still fuck with this app
Makes
because I fuck with them.
sense. Make it make sense. That's it. Who
What you
we got?
got?
We got I am Z Flow, Keno Duff, Black Paco. What's up? Gleanzo 15, Coach Nelson. What's up? Let's see. E2020. Aloha from Hawaii. Aloha. Miss Leon. Austin Joel. Who we got? Alicia. Posh Ambitions. Chris Robbins. Phil Snipes. Tori. Tip Tucker NX. Gone. Meg Spicy. I am Nia Long. Is it Nia Long?
I hope
QD
so.
06. What's up? Naja. Target Vodka. Damn. Sounds like white women. White women love
Hmm.
they love their vodka. Gabby 7. The boys chat. Chop Alt D. Did I say that right?
Mm.
I don't know.
Wow.
Innocent. Innocent. Sounds like a lie. Wisdom
Yep.
speak. Kiro Same. Elder Wisdom. Jezebel. Alright, is she a Jezebel?
I hope so.
Peter
That.
H. Look at Leah. Take out Space Pod. What's up?
Mm.
Islamia Fitness. Sweet Border. Tyreek Young. Bonnie. Humble K. What's up, y'all? Thank you for checking in and shit. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Let's get these voicemails popping.
My leather pants came in the mail today, guys.
Oh my God. Oh
His
my God.
leather pants.
Leather pants. Now,
Okay,
the question
it's
is,
definitely
what
gonna be.
color are the leather pants?
They're black.
He got, okay. All right. All right, Paco. I see what you're doing. Like, he's forward thinking. He's like, it's getting cold outside. And, he's just going to do the right thing. I appreciate that. Now, I can't wear leather because, like me, I got broad shoulders and, like, my pants, like, I just can't wear
It's
leather, like,
nice
in
and
that
hot.
area. I just can't do it. But shout out to Paco, though.
I mean, leather and dick. Kinky.
Leather and no, like wait. So question. Like when it comes to wearing like leather pants, do you have to wear a leather belt too, or can you just like go beltless?
It depends on the pant.
But like I don't think
For
I've ever seen a
women,
pair of
for
leather pants.
women, most of the time, our leather pants don't really have loops, and if it does, it kind
Hmm.
of pointless because nobody wants to wear baggy leather pants as a woman unless your name is Monica.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, no. Because if this
You saw
podcast takes off,
the gaps in her pants when she wore it.
yeah, she shouldn't have to stand up and adjust herself like she's just like a
Yeah.
nigga at a basketball game. Like I was like, yo.
Fall is coming. Fall is like my favorite time of the year. Autumn is my favorite season. So if you're looking for some merch, check your girl. Support the She Gets It podcast by getting you some merch.
You know what I'm saying? You get some merch, you support, you get a little something out of it. You become a representative, an affiliate for She Gets a Podcast. And I have sweatshirts on there, hoodies, t-shirts, whatever you need is on the She Gets It shop. Shop with Teespring. I'll go ahead and put the link up. Let's get back to the show.
What the fuck is going on? Actually, let me shut up. Like, Soldier Slim might get out, and I ain't trying to, have this podcast go famous and this nigga be looking for me.
Gotta
Nope.
be on parole.
Mm-mm. No,
Be on-
I ain't fucking with it. No, thank you.
All right, Greg, we in here. Pros
Yeah. Oh,
and cons of podcasting while black. Well, here we
Yeah.
are. Here we are.
I don't. Do you want me to set the scene? Because I have so much to say about this. All right. First and foremost, I want to shout out the black podcasters that are getting the money that Joe Budden left on the table. I feel like that is key. So we have like the Black Guy Who Tips, Jaden XD. I forgot the other 2 or 3 shows that ended up just like cleaning house, which I think I fuck with them, and I'm appreciative of the fact that they are going and getting Spotify's money. When I say that, I mean it, and it's genuine. My only issue is not the podcast because I'm still going to listen to them. It's just I absolutely hate the Spotify app to listen to anything but music. I feel like 2 things can't exist in an app like that. Like when I have my music, I have my music. When I have my podcast, I have my podcast. And I use like Castro or Overcast, and I feel like those are like the elite when it comes to like podcasting apps. Spotify's like, oh, like I have all my playlists there and stuff like that. Everything just looks like a fucking mess. And I don't want to miss an episode because Spotify didn't alert me that, Jaden XD or, Rod and Karen just somehow dropped an episode on Tuesday and I didn't hear it. Because honestly, the first year that Joe Budden did his podcast on Spotify, I protested. The reason why I protested, because I'm like, yo, like all of, no bullshit, because all of my fucking podcasts are here. Why am I going to travel to one platform to hear one fucking show? Like I can hear all of my favorite shows. I can hear, Black Guy Who Tips. I can hear BTG.
That's what TV show platforms are doing. Like they're realizing that people don't give a fuck about cable no more, and people not paying no motherfucking $300 bill, $500 bill, especially for Comcast stealing ass. Except old people, because old people don't understand the streaming shit. That everybody's streaming something, so that's why you have like, okay, you have fall season, but this show is only on Stars, and this show is only on HBO, and you end up buying all of these separate platforms to go ahead and have access to these shows. And if you sum it up, you're kind of paying a cable bill, but you're making your own channels.
Yeah, and I'm all for that. But the issue with that, like those streaming services and what's going to happen with Spotify too, is eventually, like I won't say they corner the market, but people get exhausted because they don't want to have subscription fatigue. Me, I don't want subscription fatigue. I don't want to be like, all right, like right now I'm paying for Apple Music. And then, but if I want to hear like, the Black Guy Who Tips, I have to have Spotify, which is an extra, like for us, the family plan is like $14.99, which I don't mind because I'll end up using Spotify. But then it's like, but what happens if I like Apple Music more, which I do? I like Tidal and I like Apple Music. Spotify to me, it's cool. But just like for streaming services, I'll give you an example. So I was using DirecTV Now like maybe like 3.5 years ago when it first started. It first started and they told you, oh, well, you'll have like $15 packages, $20 packages, and then you get the elite package, which is $35. You can get 135 channels, but there were no real sports channels. You couldn't go and say, you know what, outside of ESPN, you can't get Fox Sports 1 or something like that. I was like, you know what, I don't really care about Fox Sports 1. All I want to do is get ESPN. Then ESPN decided they wanted to have their own network. So what they did was they dropped off. And when they dropped off, all these channels that were on DirecTV Now, they started dropping off as well. When they started dropping those channels, the prices went up. So that same plan that I got for $30 in like 2016, 2017, now that same package is like $85. I'm like, yo, that's cable now. And all those streaming services, like I don't want to have that. Like right now, if I looked at like my subscription list of shit that I pay for, I know I pay for Netflix, that's $15.99. I know I pay for Apple Music, that's $14.99. Spotify, $14.99. By the time you end up racking up all those subscriptions because you're going to different places, you're
Mhm.
fucked up. So I'm just hoping that, when it comes to like streaming services, like people realize there are like illegal ways to do things, and I'm not gonna say
Hey,
what they are.
hey, I would shout mines out, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like honestly, like my cable, I have FiOS. The only reason I have FiOS is because it was cheaper to keep FiOS than, just going and say, I want the internet package. They told me with the internet package, my plan would be like $135. I was like, okay, that's cool, but I'm like, that's internet. You used to like package that in for like $89, and that was even then the fastest internet you can get. But with gigabit internet, they told me it was gonna be $189. I'm like, yo, if I'm gonna
that's
completely
more than my
abandon
car.
cable, yeah, but if you have like think about it, if you have streaming devices, you got an Apple TV, you got a PlayStation, you got an Xbox, all that shit, and then imagine iPad, iPhone, computer, and most people are working from home. You need gigabit internet. If you're gonna have gigabit internet, like you want to make sure that your streaming like devices are legit. So when people ask me, Craig, what streaming devices you get? I tell them throw away the Fire Stick because it's too slow and it's going to eventually end up crashing. I tell them to go get the Nvidia Shield because not only is that great, but you can now play like Xbox and PlayStation games on it. So I would just get that. Then I would tell people to get the Apple TV because I mean it lasts at least 5 or 6 years and it keeps
Mhm.
getting updates. So you get the Apple TV. Outside of
But
that,
does the
like
Apple TV run out of room? Like the most
what the thing
Apple?
is, the thing with the Apple TV though is most of those apps are so small because they're like configured to be on the Apple app, and you're not downloading anything. It's different from when you're like watching Netflix on your iPad. And you're like, you know what, I want to watch this movie later. Like you have to have internet service to have to use an Apple TV or any streaming service.
Yeah.
Um, I, I think the only one I don't advise people getting is the Chromecast, and the reason why is because there aren't enough apps on it yet, and that's why they can sell it for dirt cheap. They're like, oh, for $35 you can get this, and it's ideal when you're like in a hotel. But the issue is, then you have to still stream everything from your iPad and everything. So if you close your iPad, you can't see shit. So what's the point? You might as well go and just bring, the Nvidia Shield or the Apple TV or the Alexa, what do you call it, the Amazon Fire Stick with you wherever you go. So
Shit, when I'm in
yeah.
the hotel, I am the TV. You dig?
Oh, see, you know what? See, you out here. Mm. I
I am
was
on
not. I was not
television
expecting you to take that. Well, yeah.
screen.
Now
Yeah.
wait. So you trying to tell me when you go to the hotel room, you don't turn the TV on? Y'all just be like,
That's not what I'm
humping and
here
lurk.
for. I'm here for a hot fucking sucking and loudness.
A hot
I
fucking
want
and
to
sucking
give
and
these
loudness.
maids something to clean, honey. That's it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like don't mention that because that reminded me of that fucking. Cause now I'm thinking about. I'm like, yo, like how many people done fucked in a hotel before me?
Listen,
Like if I go, like yo, like there's some freaky niggas out there. Like that's why I don't drink
where
out of the
I
glass that
go,
be in the bathroom.
so y'all can judge me because y'all don't know me, honey. I don't got to see you in my
Yeah.
driveway and be like, oh yeah, that was
See,
me.
now question.
Mm,
As a woman, if a dude told you that they went and got a hotel for the night, right? But
yeah.
the script is this. He calls you and he's like, hey yo, I got a hotel for the night. But the thing is, I don't know what hotel we at because I did like Priceline Negotiator, right?
Yeah.
And he put in the price for like $35, but then he get there and it's the fucking Hyatt. And he's like, well, God damn, like this is
Yeah.
like a nice hotel. Like, would you get mad at him for going and like Priceline in a hotel to fuck you though?
No, I price line my hotels, especially when like it's supposed to be. Oh, we were supposed to go to movies, something to eat, but nigga, now I'm trying to eat all that dick. So let's go
Wait,
here.
whoa. We're not gonna we're not gonna gloss past that. Wait, did you say you go? Hold on, wait. Where's Paco? You know what? We're gonna play some voicemails. What the?
Wait.
Shan just said she gonna eat all the dick, not the dick, all the dick. You ain't gonna have no dick left. So fellas, I need you to feed her with food and then just give her your dick at the end. Just like feed her dick, cause she
We
said,
did have food, but I still have room. So
wait, whoa. You still had room. You know what?
yeah. So like when you go on like Priceline, it'll give you like the quickest best price in that area, depending on what star rating you want. And sometimes when you go there, you go to the front desk, you're like, oh, well, we don't have any more queen rooms or this. This is what we got. And then you have to look back at the car, the truck, and then you gotta look at the lady, look back at the car, the truck. Like, all right, just give me that. If we gotta put two beds together, then we gonna put two beds together. But we here for a purpose.
But okay, so question. This is gonna be another stupid question, and Baylor gonna give me shit. I know he just left the voicemail, but say if you go and get the hotel that's like the two twin beds, right? And y'all put
Yeah.
them together and y'all fucking, and she's laying in between the two beds, and then she accidentally slide in. Like, we'll say like
That's
you
her
end up
fault.
sliding in between the two beds. That's
That's
your
her
fault.
fault.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I just wanted to know because some people be like, oh yeah, well I don't want to be in a wet spot. Either you in a wet spot or you in the crack. So
It's
it's
your
gonna be one or the
wetness.
other. Yeah, sleep in your shit. Not
Those
in shit. If
are
you're
those are
asleep,
your stakes in that bed. Your kidney bean wetnesses.
exactly, exactly. Let's see what filth these niggas got on these voicemails. Cause
Fall is my favorite time for dressing. They call me blue cheese. Greggy, you wear turtlenecks? I wear turtlenecks. Shan, you wear turtlenecks?
I
I wear
love
turtlenecks.
a man
yo,
in a turtleneck.
I love my turtlenecks. I only have three. So I have like a brown one. I got, obviously a traditional black one. And I got this little navy blue one. I got to get
Yeah,
some more because apparently turtlenecks are in style. Now, there's two
yeah.
different type of turtlenecks. There's the normal turtlenecks that I really fuck with. The ones I
Mm.
hate though are those ones with the zip in the front. I hate that shit because they always have that weird ass
Those look
flap right
very
around your
like,
chin.
can you come with me to meet my mom? That's what that looks like.
Yeah, yeah, that's that first. I'm going to Thanksgiving with my girl, and I got the
Yeah.
turtleneck zipper from Old Navy. No, just don't do that, fellas. It's bad news. It's absolutely
Go
bad
all
news.
the way and put that motherfucking turtleneck on.
So let me ask you a question. So say like Chan, for Thanksgiving, you go and you're meeting the family with this new dude or whatever, right? And it's cold outside, and he decides, you know what, I'm gonna wear a turtleneck, but what shoes does he put on? Do you want him to wear like just regular sneakers? Do you want him to wear like dress shoes? Or what if he ends up pulling up with some Uggs on?
Men men don't do Uggs in my book. If you don't do Ugg, let it be a slipper, but you shouldn't have no motherfucking Uggs on. I don't give a fuck what you say. Um, Turtleneck. You got to do like a nice boot, not Timberlands, not lugs, not no ACGs. Like a nice boot with a turtleneck. That's what I
Mm,
expect. Not church shoes, but a nice boot. Like y'all men, y'all have options. Who has some nice or you could do, you know what I really like that men wear?
what's
Motherfucking
that?
drivers, dog. Get y'all some of
Mm,
them shits are comfortable. Todd's has some nice ones. Who else has some nice ones? Cole Haan has some nice drivers. Like
yep.
they're very comfortable. They have grip on the bottom, and they make you look dressed up without even trying.
Mm. As soon as I open my Instagram app, I'm gonna have like 15 ads for that shit on the timeline. So thank you. And anybody else who's listening, you know what's gonna happen.
Get you some.
Yeah. All right, we got two more voicemails, and then we're gonna get into the shit.
Y'all doing this tonight, huh? That's what y'all doing?
Man!
I'm here for it.
Yeah. Oh. So
Greggy,
so
you left
Bailey
your
in here.
DVDs at my. All right.
Ooh.
So okay, yeah. So this man said in my previous chat that I had. So he was telling everybody, oh well, Greg, you left your DVD collection of Friends or some shit. No, he said Seventh Heaven. He was like, you left your
Oh,
Seventh Heaven
seven
collection of
heaven.
DVDs.
When I see your smiling faces, smiling back at me. Seventh
Wait, what?
heaven.
Wait, why do you know that song? What?
My mom used to faithfully watch that shit, and I had to at least watch it to get through the song. That shit was lit.
Oh my God.
Where do
What have we
you
gotten into?
go?
Yo, holy shit. Oh, let's get this voicemail out the way before we get into it.
Sign me up. LOL.
Oh my God. Oh. He said sign him up. You know what that means? He said he trying to be hurting and lurking. He trying to drop this dick in your drawers. That's what he trying to do. He said.
Got that dick in your drawers.
But
See?
that's what he said. That's what he said. That a little
Okay.
birdie told me that. Let me see. Oh, we got two more voicemails.
Seven heaven. Hey,
Hey, yo.
hey. I
Yes.
forgot. Oh, I just took 60 milligrams of edibles right now. When I tell you I am about to float this, I'll see y'all later. Or
Oh
not.
my god.
Or
Oh my
maybe.
god. That means that nigga gonna
Ba-
be in here for a while, just leaving voice notes and shit, singing. Actually, you know what, Baylor? I need Baylor to give us intermissions of like fucking like theme songs. Since he that high, I need him to go ahead and just give us like theme songs, and just sing them shits. Oh, next voice
And
note.
why Paco emoji look like he a Puerto Rican? He's not that color.
Yo,
Leave Paco alone. Paco being like Paco.
hey, yo,
Oh
Paco
man.
gonna beat you up, man. So let's get to it. So, my God. Oh, see, look, we go. Let's get this voicemail, and then we're gonna do it for real.
I don't want to wait for our lives to be over.
That was my show.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
See,
That bitch was a
see.
hoe.
Oh my God. Wait, which one was Katie Holmes the hoe, or was the other one the blonde joint? What was her name? My God. What,
I don't know her real.
no, I'm thinking fucking Dawson's Creek. What's wrong with me? Wait, is that's Dawson's Creek's theme song, ain't it? Oh Lord. So anyway, let's get to it. So
I
basically,
think so.
coming out,
I thought it was.
was it? I don't want to wait. That was Dawson's Creek, right? That had to have been Dawson's Creek. Hold on, I gotta find this song. Let me see. Let me see if I can play it.
I can hear you type in.
Yeah, I gotta play this shit. Listen, oh, let me turn this volume. Oh yeah, yep, that's it. That's the song.
That's the woman's way of asking nigga, is you going nut or nah? I
See,
don't
how
want to wait
how in the fuck did you turn the Dawson's Creek theme song into a nut in me ditty bop?
are you
What the
gonna
f-
nut or nah?
are you gonna nut or nah? Oh Lord, let's get slightly serious, and then we're gonna get to so we have I broke them down into three categories. So since we're talking about black podcasting and us being black podcasters, shout out to Paco, shout out to Baylor. Um, you want to start with the pros, you want to start with the cons, or do you want to give advice?
Um, cons.
Cons. Okay. So I'm gonna let you start. What are some cons that you have seen being a black podcaster?
Um, some cons that I've seen is most platforms won't give you your props.
Mm-hmm.
Um, most topics be expected by others because most quote unquote black people do that. Or
Mm-hmm.
you deal with a lot of people on CP time when you need to get business shit done.
Mm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What are some?
I, oh my God, I had to write these down. Um, I wrote them down. Number one, podcast beef is a big con. Some people just don't fuck with each other when they really should. Like when I saw the whole situation go down with like Joe Button and Charlamagne, I'm like, you realize y'all friends and y'all beefing about shit y'all shouldn't have to beef about. And then like Crizzle with the Reed, I'm like, yo, like y'all were beefing, and it's like, no. The thing is, like, it's already a community it's small, but it's not inviting. Like everybody, when they start podcasting, they feel like they have to be like the elite of the elite. I'm like, that's not how that's supposed to work. So podcast beefing is definitely like the number one thing that's a con. But the thing is, you don't have to beef. The only thing you need to do when it comes to podcasting is literally just build a community of your friends and just stick to them. You don't need to be too mixy and just try to be friends with everybody because not everybody want to be your friend. Do your show, do your shit good, and just don't be mixy. Being mixy, you end up falling into like podcast beef and shit. You don't want that. So that's number one. Number two for a con is Spotify. I absolutely,
I hate Spotify.
bro. Like the reason why I hate Spotify though, it's because of like how I'm trying to think how can I just want to be able to put the shows that I want on whatever fucking app I have them on. I hate the it's exclusive to because the thing is it's exclusive to, but what happens to that person who's like me who don't want to go to Spotify? Or more importantly, like say for example, if Baylor decided he wanted to go and make his show Spotify exclusive. I
Mm-hmm.
want him to make all the money in the world and I'm going to try my best to listen. But if I know for a fact I listen to 26 fucking podcasts and I can get all of those on the platform I've been using, like let me do that. Like let me just have my show on there and then you can get the metrics from people who do that. But Spotify doesn't even give you like that, right? For example, like Anchor. Like Anchor will give you every metric for every other platform but Spotify. And they're owned by them. So I'm like, wait, like I can't even see my metrics from Spotify on Anchor. Shout out to Anchor though, when y'all give us money, but y'all ain't, so this ain't a shout out. But there's that. Number three, when it comes to the cons of podcasting, shit can be expensive if you buy pointless equipment. I tell anybody who will
Yeah.
listen that wants to become a podcaster, like you can do it. Just don't go on Google and YouTube and be like, yo, what does it take to become a podcaster? Because you're going to get 15 to 30 videos of like white guys who are like made of money. And they're like, oh, get this microphone. It's like $600 and it'll make you the best
Oh,
podcaster. And
they're
then,
getting paid to tell you that.
yeah, like I tell people, like there's two podcasters in the world that want to start. There's the podcaster who's ambitious, like I was. And it's like, you know what? I'm gonna just
Mhm.
go and listen to those YouTubers, and I'm gonna get all that shit. And now I got all that shit, and I can't send it back because it's been longer than 35 days on
I
Amazon.
can't send it back.
Yeah, no bullshit though. Like I tell people all the time that, and then there's the other podcaster who they listen to like Reddit or a friend, or they'll see another YouTuber, and they'll be like, oh, they use the Blue Yeti mic. Stop using the Blue Yeti mic. I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. I'm just saying it's not a good entry level mic. The Blue Yeti it's fine, but the thing is, you have to deal with like room treatment, sound treatment, and then that's where the money starts adding up. Because you'll be sitting there, you're using your Blue Yeti in your living room. You're like, yo, like, why does my audio sound bad? Why can I hear the fucking fridge ticking? Why can I hear the door
The
opening or
fridge.
whenever yeah, like you hear all that shit in the microphone because it picks up everything. So, like, more
I'm
importantly, when you
glad
get
you
the Blue Yeti,
because I was looking at that mic for a long time.
no,
But
no,
that's the
don't.
thing. That's the reason why I haven't bought one because I bought a mic off of like Amazon like 2 years ago and I hate it. So I never
Yeah,
use it.
like somebody's gonna say like which mic do you get? I ask, personally I tell people if you don't want to get the Blue Yeti mic, I would get like the Audio Technica, the what is it called, the ATR 2100. And the reason why is you want your microphone to grow with your podcast. Like you and I, when we record shows, like sometimes I'm on my
Mhm.
microphone, sometimes we're on here. But the thing is, if you have a microphone that grows with you, say for example, you go out of town, you and Paco, you hang, but y'all want to do a show together. You can't do a show with two Blue Yeti mics because two USB interface mics just won't work. It'll completely like screw up the audio content. What you want to do is you want to have a microphone that, yeah, if it does USB, that's great, but it also has the capability of doing XLR. So I tell people to get the ATR 2100. It's the most effective microphone, and more importantly, you can hear yourself. Don't buy a microphone that you can't hear yourself out of. Once you get
Yeah.
that and you see how you sound live, you're like, oh, I can understand how I sound. More importantly, I can hear what they're saying. So I don't focus on other things that are in the room. So the ATR 2100, I feel like that right there is like the premier one for the right price
Mhm.
point. It's like $90, but you can get it on Amazon for like 70. Like Black Friday, it'll probably be like maybe 40, $50. Or you can just get it on
Mhm.
eBay for maybe like $20, $30. And it plugs right into your computer. So if you got a MacBook, you can just plug it into your MacBook. If you decide you want to get
Mhm.
you a Zoom H6, you can do that as well. So for me, that is just it. And more importantly, like it'll grow with you. So that's a main con is when people just go and spend a lot of money on shit. The second microphone is the one that I just got, the Shure MV7. It has XLR and it has USB too. So I feel like right now that's the right microphone for me. Like I've seen a lot of podcasters have the Shure microphone that's like $600. I'm like, yo, I'm not spending $600 on a microphone. Now 200
Yeah.
I can get with. So that one I think is like 249. I'm like, that's an investment that for a fact at the rate you and I like crank out content, that's a good microphone. But if you're just
Mhm.
starting out, I wouldn't say do that. I would say, you know what, just focus on getting the ATR 2100. Get yourself an XLR cable from like I forgot what the app is called, but not the app, but the actual site, like Monoprice. Go to monoprice.com and you can get an XLR mic for like $6. And once you do
Mhm.
that, or you can get an interface, you can get like the Focusrite. The Focusrite's like $50 to $60. You can plug all
Mhm.
that into your computer, and then you can feed yourself audio. If you do need any like audio like apps or something like that, just message us. Either hit up She Gets the Podcast or hit up me, and I'll send you the link so you can just have. Yeah, I'll send you all the links you need to just get all the download apps that you need, so you don't have to spend like $300 a month on fucking Adobe Audition and shit like that. Shameless plug though. Anyway,
Adobe strokes people who don't know.
yeah, man, listen. When I found out that the subscription was, I think it was like what, $29 a month for like the suite of apps. I was like, you know what? No, I'm okay. I'll just steal the app. So hey, that's why I tell people get a MacBook. I can help
Yeah.
you with a MacBook. If you got a Dell, I can't fuck with you. The reason why is because I don't know what to do with a Dell. So there's that. My last con though is podcast hosting. I tell anybody who will listen, and this is not a plug towards Anchor. Start with
Yeah.
Anchor. Don't go and be like, you know what, I'm gonna get Blurberry or Podbean or anything like that. You're gonna end up spending like fucking like $20-$30 a month, and you're like, yo, like I don't even put out that much content. You're gonna get discouraged because you're spending so much money in places you don't need to spend it in. Anchor, not only is it free, but it's unlimited. So while that shit is free, just keep putting your shit on there. Once they say, you know what, we're gonna start charging out $20 a month, then move, just go somewhere else. Like I feel like Anchor's in that sweet
The
spot where, yeah. So that's pretty much those are my cons. When it comes to podcasting, I had more, but I'm trying not to be petty to like, people who do podcasts because somebody's gonna say something, be
kid,
offended,
like
but it's
I
just the truth.
mean, my thing is this: no matter what you're doing, if you're podcasting and if you're doing anything, do it good. Like do it right. Like I personally hate to hear great topics or good ideas, but it sounds shitty because people
Mm-hmm.
don't the people in the room. You talking over them, or
Yep. Yep.
you know,
That was me.
someone sounds great, someone sounds shitty, but that one that person that sounds great every fucking week is not communicating to this person that sounds shitty. So then the
Mm-hmm.
whole show as a whole just sounds like, oh, y'all just outside, just chopping it up. Y'all not really podcasting. So to me, if I could clearly hear you, your topics are good, you consistent, you have the listeners, people want to listen, and you're on the right platforms, you're going to be super straight. But why
Exactly.
come together consistently, different people, large groups, and sound like shit?
Exactly. That was me. Like shout out to my old shows and stuff like that. Like somebody think that shade. It's not. The issue that I had, and I can actually attest to it, and Chan, you know as well. Like when you try to get a cohesive unit together,
Yeah.
it's hard. Like when it's you and I, you can say, you know what, like Greg's talking, I'll stop talking, or say when I'm not cutting you off or something like that. I'm like, hey, like I know she's talking, so yeah.
Mhm.
But there are certain like people I won't say that aren't built for podcasting. It's just more so it's like it's not a kickback. A
Yeah.
podcast is not it's not built for that. If you want to last in podcasting, like what you have to do is one, be consistent, but two, you need to just know your co-host, even if y'all are friends, just know they have to have the same drive and
Yeah.
dedication to the brand. Like it's even though if you started the show and it's your shit, it's still y'all brand. Like they're gonna go out if you ever get famous on your show and say, "Hey, I was on that show." Because trust me, there are shows that I know that are famous now, and they've
Mhm.
had guests come on. And those guests are like, "Yo, like I'm good now. Like I was on that show 3 or 4 years ago. Like yeah, I'm famous too, and that's cool." But the issue is like you have to know your brand and you have to know your co-host. If you don't know your co-host and you don't go and appreciate your brand, they won't. So sometimes you have to be like kind of the tough guy, and more importantly, you have not there. The
Mhm.
audio quality is not there. That's something I had to personally learn. When we started with the Blue Yeti mic in the room. We turned it on omnidirectional so you could hear on all ends, and we got drunk and we would sit here for 3-4 hours at a time and just shoot the shit. The issue is for us, that shit sounded like the best fucking audio ever. However, when we had that download and people were like, yo, like this audio sound like shit. They would listen to it because the content was good, but don't nobody
Mhm.
want to hear that shit like consistently every week. So you have to figure out how to make yourself better. The best way to make yourself better is just to know, just get the shit that you need to get that is going to make it better at the beginning instead of going and playing the guessing game of what's going to improve your sound. So there's that. I guess we might as well get. Do you want to
It's
get
just
into some advice? Oh, go ahead.
we can, but it's just like when people get something luxurious, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
be like, man, how much is it? How much is that oil change? Well, just throw this in there. You can't do that. So
Mm-mm.
if you go good, keep it good. Like don't try to
Exactly.
bullshit around and get something because it's low price. Well, sometimes it's low price because it's not great quality. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, your idea of what you want to do with your show is your idea of what you want to do with your show. I just know when your show is accessible, is clear, is
Mm-hmm.
consistent, you're going to have more listeners.
Exactly. And I have to thank you especially, Tan. You know, I'm always like praising you, but I mean, you deserve it. I guess in
Is
terms
it?
of advice, like
Yeah.
that was my number one thing because that's something you've told me is to be consistent. Like when we had the baby, it was like, well, when my wife and I had the baby, somebody would be like, wait, Chan and Greg had a baby? No, me and Mouf. So, you know, when we had the baby, I took a little bit of a break, and
Yeah.
the downloads started to fall, and we started to lose engagement because when people see that you're not consistent, it's like if
Yeah.
you go to work. If you go to work and then all of a sudden you're missing for 6 days, they're like, wait, what the fuck? Like, do they not work here anymore? They don't care.
Greg, to me, that should never happen in a group.
Yeah,
Like y'all all have y'all separate lives, but when it's a group, like somebody else has to pick that shit up, and no, none of the listeners should know.
exactly. That's something that I was hoping for. Even though it didn't work out, the thing is, it made me a better person to learn that and just know I take that experience and now I'm like, you know what? I save up on like episodes now. That's the one thing I tell anybody that will listen. When you start recording, you're gonna be so excited to record shows. Record those shows and just make sure that you don't like put them out like episode after that. Like Chan can do it, I can do it because we know for a fact we're going to have more content. If you
Yeah.
know for a fact this is a hobby for you that you're like, you know what, I'm doing it for a while. It'll be cool for like 2 or 3 weeks. But hey, summer's coming, so you were doing podcasts every week from fucking March until May, and then all of a sudden, you know, Memorial Day weekend, you're like, hey, I ain't gonna do a show no more. I ain't got time. Like that's not consistent. And more importantly, podcasts fail that way. Either figure out if you're going to be a weekly podcast, a seasonal podcast, or a whenever the fuck podcast. There's
And that's
only three
that's my
types.
other con, Greg. Companies think that you pod for play or shits and giggles, and they don't want to
Mm-hmm.
pay you. Like
Yeah.
no, like I also have a whole life out here, and I do
Mm-hmm.
this. Like, pay me.
Oh yeah, I'm not playing with them. Like even with stereo, I be telling them, run me the money. I can say on their platform because I mean it's the truth. But also like just anywhere, like Anchor, anything that like runs me money when it comes to the podcast, the business. I'm like, yo, this is my free time that I could have back by just not
Yeah.
doing this shit. However, like I enjoy doing it. It's a hobby that I've learned from, I've gained friends from, and more importantly, for the guy who's like an introverted, like extrovert, and I really don't fuck with people, like being able to engage when I want makes me a better person. It's made me more open to things, and more podcasters would respect themselves if they, like I like to talk, or even if you don't like to talk, I'm telling you, if you put a mic in front of one of your friends and say, "This is the topic we're going to talk about," I guarantee you're going to learn so much more about your peers, your creative friends, your ex friends, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever you decide you want to start a show with, or if you that person that just decided you want to start a show by yourself, I would say again, shameless plug, listen to She Gets It podcast. The reason why is because you know for a fact you're going to get content that escalates itself every week because she knows what she put out the week before, and the people who are listening ain't gonna want to accept anything less. And you as a growing podcaster, a new podcaster, should expect the same thing. And I mean that's just number one for advice. Damn, what else? Number two, um, don't get on your show rambling. I know I do it a lot, but I don't give a fuck. But anyway, write whatever write whatever you have down. A docket is key. I've listened to so many podcasts that are like coming out and they hear like, oh, Greg rambles and stuff like that. I do, but the thing is, the point still gets there. Like I'm going to get back to it. But if you go onto a show just thinking, you know what, I'm gonna turn the mic on and I ain't gonna say shit, or I'm gonna say how I'm thinking, you're gonna slip up and you're gonna say something that you didn't mean to say, and you're gonna publish that shit, and you're gonna regret it because at that point it's already out there. You don't want to be that person. That's why I say have some structure in your docket, and once you have a docket, you can literally freestyle in between it. Like how we are doing tonight, we have a docket, but we breeze through stuff and we add things in. It just makes it a more cohesive show. And your listeners will appreciate the fact that even if it's disorganized, there's some organization to it inside of that, like disorganization. Um, I mentioned the Blue Yeti mic. There's that. Number four, when you start podcasting, don't expect to get paid. That's the one thing
Yeah.
I wish someone would have told me. Um, Don't expect to get paid because here's the thing: everybody who gets paid has a connection in podcasting, or they worked for it. Like you and I have, where we've had to go and reach out to sponsors. We've had to go and do the legwork, and even then, they treat us like like we're the janitors. And then there's like people like Joe Rogan and them like that who they are an established name, and I get that you're an established name, so you're supposed to get the money. But the thing is, you already make the money. So
Yeah.
when you have like sponsorships like Bevel, when they were doing sponsorships and they were giving tens of thousands of dollars to like Joe Rogan and all of them, it's like, hey, you're giving them that. But the thing is, they're garnering those listens. But now when you look at the Apple Podcast list every week, that shit hasn't changed in 6 years. You got the Joe Rogan podcast there. You have like sports podcasts and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
that's why I guess we're having this episode, is because that's why I don't even use the Apple Podcast app, because there's no highlighted black podcast. Even the Black Guy Who Tips. Whenever I look at like the best
Or even
podcast, I'm like,
you Google it. When you Google it, it's not up there listed.
yeah. And the reason why they do that is because they feel like black podcasts aren't marketable because all we do is just listen to music. I'm like, no, trust me. If you can get people to listen to you talk for
Yeah.
however long you talk, I'm gonna get to that later, but however long you talk, you just know people are going to listen and they're going to come back every week. Even if there's an episode that's dry and they're like, you know what, I really ain't fuck with that episode, they want to see that pop up. And they're like, yeah, like cool. Like think about it. My mom, I don't know if like your family, like they listen to the Tom Joyner Morning radio show, or they listen to, just any like
My
talk
mom doesn't-
radio. Yeah,
all she
like
knows is general.
yeah, but it's the truth. But that's the thing. They still go and engage with that like daily, weekly, whatever it is. When it comes to us, though, as podcasters, we want people to do that. So you want to be the name they know, the brand they know, and they want to be consistent. So if you put a podcast out like Baylor does on Thursdays, make sure every Thursday you got a fucking episode to hit them with. Don't go and say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I ain't got an episode this week. No, drop that fucking show. So that right there for me is that. But more importantly, like I said, don't strive to be Joe Rogan, Joe Button, and the Reed and all them. They're established and they've been doing this shit for years. Before podcasting was cool, they were doing this shit. The new era
Yeah.
of podcasting is right now with like, myself and Chan, where it's not for us to get famous. If it happens, it happens. More important, I don't want to be famous. I just want the money, to be truthfully honest with you.
Go to Walmart at 2 a.m. ugly as fuck to get shit I don't have no business eating, and I don't want to be bothered. So for me, it's
Yeah.
not about. I just want to talk my shit and just have people be better because you now know better. Like,
Exactly.
that's it.
Hold on. Before I get into the next ones, let me play this voicemail.
You know why it's hard for people to stay in love? Because it's a superpower. Period.
Yo, okay,
Oh, he's on one. He higher than a kite,
man,
dog.
what? Oh, I wish
Baylor.
Stone was in. I wish Stone was in here right now, boy. Oh my God, I might have to hit Stone up like, yo, listen to this nigga Baylor on here tonight. Because when Baylor and I were talking about the Lakers, oh my God, like Stone was in there drunk as shit. But let me see. So what's the next one? So contracts, right? I'm gonna get to that voicemail in a second, but contracts. I don't care if that person that's your guest host, your co-host, or something like that. Like you and I are a little bit different, but everybody else, contracts. There's nothing worse than having a show with your peers and that shit goes sour. Get everything in writing and do it yearly. I don't care. Like December 31st, you're like, hey, by the way, this is how we're gonna do these things. This is how we're gonna break down the money, blah blah blah. Because you don't want to go word of mouth. Make sure that you got that shit in writing. It's like any other contract. Podcasting deserves a contract. You can Google how to make a podcast contract, or more importantly, just get them to write,
Google
hey, I
got
was a yeah, like if you have a guest on your show, get it in writing. The reason why is what happens if you have a controversial episode and then you get called out on Twitter and next thing you know you get a call, hey, I was on episode 30 but you're on episode fucking 800. Like you don't want
yeah.
the problems. Get it in writing. Contracts are like number 5 for me. And number 6, this is the final piece of advice before we get to the pros. Number 6 is don't listen to nobody telling you that podcasts are only supposed to be a certain limit. Like every single person I've ever heard say that shit, don't listen to podcasts. And if they do, it's because, hey, my friend started a show, let me listen to that shit. And then they listen to it once and they never come back. Those people, you don't even want in your corner. I was just talking to Steph, and she was like, one of her friends told her, oh well, I would have listened to the show, but it was an hour when it should only be like 45 minutes. I'm like, if 15 minutes made that much of a difference for you, I don't want you listening to my shit because what happens when you have that hour show that's engaging and you're still talking and you're having fun and it's a great episode, and then somebody says, "Oh, it's 45 minutes. We're going to cut it off. We'll see you next week." This isn't
But
an
that's
episode of
the thing,
Martin.
though. People don't understand the people that support you the most are going to
Mm-hmm.
be the strangers that you don't know. It's not going to be the people that know you.
Oh, of course. And that's the thing. Like, this is just for me. This is one thing that's a pet peeve. It's not advice, it's a pet peeve. I have my
Mhm.
friends, I have my peers that sell merchandise. They go and they make their own things, they do their own things. Chan, I know for a fact you have products and you sell merchandise. Don't let your friends, more importantly, don't listen to your friends who are going to say they're going to buy things and they don't buy things. I'd much rather you just not buy things and don't say shit. Just look at the store, it's pretty. There's nothing that burnt at me. Like, we have T Public and stuff like that. But when I see my friends who have a marketplace and they work hard for that shit, and I'll see in like a comment somebody be like, "Hey, yo, I'm gonna buy merch, blah 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 blah." I'm like, "No, you keep saying
Or
you're
they
gonna buy this.
oh, I need that, or let me
Yeah,
get
you
this
don't
aside medium. If you go on this link, you could get in
exactly.
all you need. Like, I'm not ordering something just to pass it to you because you want it.
Yeah. Oh no, because everybody wants shit free. But the thing is, podcasting, it's free, but it ain't free for you niggas. Like, oh, you get a free shirt off me? No. Like, that's why. Like, when when Baylor does his shows and he's talking about his merch, I'm like, yo, talk about your merch and make sure the motherfuckers pay you. We might be friends, but I need the coin. I need all your money. We can be friends, but I know you got $20, bro. I know you gonna sit here and model my shit, but then like you ain't gonna tag me. You're just like, hey, I got a new shirt. Shout out to Baylor. Like, no. Like, I need, one, your money, and two, you ain't getting this shit for free. You wouldn't walk into fucking Foot Locker and get them ugly ass 3 for $25 polo shirts and expect them shits to be free. Yeah, nothing in this world is free, but more importantly, treat your friends like they are a business, but they're still your friends, because once they blow up and shit like that, that's when they say, you know what, hey, I can toss you free tickets to a show. I can do something like that. But right now, when they're aspiring and they're being like an entrepreneur for their business, their podcast and stuff like that, appreciate them by helping them out. You don't understand what a $20 purchase for their shirt will actually do for their show. That could be podcast hosting for like Zoom for a month, man. Show some gratitude to your friends who are actually doing more than what y'all are doing for the pandemic,
Yeah.
sitting in the house, ain't doing shit. We got 4 voicemails and we're gonna keep going.
How do you start a podcast? Sorry if I'm late to the chat, but I am curious.
Okay. Chan, you
Hey,
want to take
Chris,
that over?
go on that thing. Look at it. It's very easy to use. But there's other podcast platforms to go ahead and use, but it's very easy. Uh, don't get like swallowed by, oh, you need this and this and this before you start. You really don't. You just
Yeah,
need like the real focus of why the fuck are you starting a podcast in the first place so you don't burn out.
exactly. And burnout is real. When you do take break, that's another thing. When you take breaks, let your audience know you're taking a break. Like, don't be that show. Like, myself, when I took a break from maternity, and then my co-host decided that they wanted to just take a break because I was taking a break. You can't do that. You have to say, you know what? We're going to take off for the summer because of the pandemic and stuff like that. We will be back. And make sure, even when you're on break, use social media. Like, just like you sign on to Instagram and shit like that, and you post a photo of your baby and your new shoes and shit like that. Go and be like, hey, just keeping this in your ear. The podcast is coming back November 1st or some shit like that, because people appreciate that. Even if they only listen to 2 episodes, they will
Mhm.
see that. I guarantee you. Like, customer engagement, just like Walmart and Nike and all them, everything is engagement. Let's get this next voicemail.
Anybody can do a podcast, but everybody can't do a podcast like us. Everybody can't
Okay.
carry a show like Shan. Everybody can't create content like Greg. And everybody can't be the president of the podcast game like me. And
Oh,
I say that in
absolutely.
the most cockiest way ever.
Absolutely.
Period.
And that's the
Yay!
thing. Absolutely. And see, shit like that, like, these are relationships that you build with like your friends of the podcast. People are like, oh, who's Baylor? He's leaving voice notes. Like, when you have somebody who not only fucks with you on like a friend level, but more importantly, they come and support your shit. Even like right now, it's midnight where I am. Like, Baylor, like, it's LeBron o'clock. But either way,
LeBron.
like either way, like, we support each other because we want to see better of each other. Like, I'm telling you, when Baylor takes off, I'm not looking at him like, hey, yo, like, bring me with you. I'm like, oh no, I know we up next then. The reason why is because you know for a fact that he put the work in. When you start podcasting, you have to put the work in. You don't come in here thinking that, hey, I'm gonna just do this show. I'm gonna get me a social media like editor and shit like that, and I'm gonna just end up getting 50,000 listens. Trust me, the only shows that get 50,000 listens are true crime, sex podcasts, the Angela Yee show, Joe Rogan, and whatever has not been exclusive to Spotify. I'm telling you this now. If I went down a list of Apple's podcast list of the top like 50 podcasts, there will be three that are black. Three. And I think one of those is The Nod, and they stopped doing their shows when? Like last year? But that's what they do. You get a sprinkle, you get a sprinkle of black, but then everything else is just bullshit. You want to make sure you have longevity. So I basically said, just to round up the advice. Don't listen to anybody telling you that podcasts are only supposed to be 30 to 45 minutes. That shit is bullshit. Like Chan will drop an episode one week and the shit can be like 33 minutes, and then the next week you're like, you know what, I got shit to say. It's gonna be an hour and a half. And
Yeah.
as it
Like 4 minutes, like niggas, y'all get to work.
Yeah, like, but that's the thing. A lot of people who start listening to podcasts for the first time, they treat a podcast like they treat a sitcom. It's not a sitcom. They're people talking like their real life shit. They're talking about their experiences. Like they talk about their lives. Like I was listening to Tamara. I swear to God, I think I said her name right. Tamara. Yes. So I was listening to her show today, and she was explaining like her show's not really for y'all. It's just her time capsule. Same thing Baylor said. It's her time capsule to be who she is. So when her children in 10, 15, 20 years from now, or even when she's gone, they can say, you know what? We have our mom's voice. And Chan, you're the same way. You're like, hey, whenever I'm gone, this is the capsule. This is something that I can look back in, even when I don't want to podcast anymore. You can go back and listen to one of your old shows and be like, yo, I grew.
I said that like we are the generation that our great grandkids will be able to listen to, be like, oh, my grandma was a motherfucking fool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine if your mom's great grandmother or grandfather was fucking documented, just like speaking their mind. Like, you don't have to guess. My thing is like, if my kids is gonna learn something from shit I did or shit I talked about, let me talk, because it's gonna become a day where I'm not here and I can't speak. So that's why like what I'm saying is not, I'm perfect, look at me, look at me, look at me. No, look at like how I was, look at how I am now, and look at the shit I dealt with, so you don't have to do that shit. Stop repeating. So
Yeah,
yeah.
basically, like podcasting can either be your personal sitcom show, your way of getting out your thoughts with your friends, or it could be your journal entry. There are different ways to like approach podcasting, but right now, or yesterday rather, was the time for you to start the show. And the reason why is because like it's so fucking easy. Like when I hear people who started shows 10 years ago talk about what they had to do to start a podcast, and then I
Mm-hmm.
see the shit like even with us when we started our shows, it was like, yo, that shit was hard. Do you know how many fucking you? I have a category on YouTube called podcasting, where I was watching, I'm telling you, all the white podcasters who be like, oh yeah, buy this $500 microphone and buy this $30 X. I'm like, yo, like, what the fuck? I might have to buy an Amazon gift card in order to fucking get all this
Yeah.
shit, right? But then when people were like, yo, like right now, it's the time because everything is so fucking cheap. During the pandemic, what else can you do other than they literally started this app and they said, hey, this is for podcasters. It's so simple to the point where you can literally say whatever the fuck you want to say, press stop, and then they say, hey, by the way, just before you close this app, you can email your audio to yourself. That shit, I wish I had it 2 years ago. I wouldn't even have Anchor. I just probably be like, I just talk on here all day. So let's get these voicemails out.
Shan got 600 shows.
600.
What in the fuck? Shit.
600 shows.
I know.
Like I know when I told you, you probably were like, wait, what the fuck is he talking about? I was like, no, you really had 600 shows. I talked to Baylor. I was like, yo, you realize Chan, she got 600 shows. And he's like, wait, what? I was like, bro, like on the app, it's telling me she had, at this point, you had like 599. That's why I text you. And you were probably like, why in the fuck is this man texting me at 3 a.m., right? I was like, no, like.
Why I did that show is because he was like, nah, you got to do the 600th show right now.
Oh, trust me. Like I feel like there's certain milestones. Like 500 obviously is like a milestone, but 600 is too. Shit. If you do a 650, I'm like, hey, that's episode 650, and every episode counts. So Let's just get to the next voicemail.
I am a legit fan of Shan and Greggy. That's what separates you from everybody else. Is that I'm not just cool with y'all, but I'm a fan. You know what a fan is? I am the number one fan, and that stands for fabulous ass nigga.
Jesus. See, this nigga here, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Good grief.
And whoever the young lady is who asked to know how to do a podcast, tell her I want her on the show. She got a podcast voice.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jump on people's shows. Like, Baylor jumped on ours. I jumped on his. Like, I jump on chat. Like, fuck. Like, why not? Like, all they
Okay,
would
so,
do is tell you
so
no.
Baylor just gave me one of my cons when I listen to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Some podcasts are a really great idea, a nice title, but then when I hear the host's voice,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, okay, I need to go. Your voice has a lot to do, like if a person stays to listen. Does your voice carry? Does it demand attention? Is it something enjoyable to hear? If it's not and it's dry and it's like no emotion in it because I can't see you, I'm not really big on watching my podcast. I'm big on listening because I'm always doing shit. I'm really never ever still. Even when I'm watching fucking TV or documentaries, I'm fucking writing. So,
Exactly.
I just really have to like your voice in order to listen to that shit.
Mm. Okay. 4 more voicemails.
Do you post your podcast as video as well, like onto YouTube? And if so, when you're promoting it, do you promote the podcast and the YouTube channel at the same time?
At the same time. I used to do YouTube, but my listeners that listen to the show, they don't really fuck with YouTube, so I stopped. But when I did, I promoted both the YouTube
Yeah.
and the vice versa.
Yeah. For me, we tried to do the YouTube thing as well, but the issue is they flag content now. They're trying to be more kid friendly, so they may flag your content for saying anything political, anything overly sexual, or if you play any music. So God forbid if you have like a segment where you're like, oh, I want to play some intro music, they will flag your shit and nobody will ever hear it anyway. So it's just
Mm.
better to, for me, I just stay away from YouTube because I'm a content creator, but I'm not a video editor. Like I'm not going to go and make more
This
work
shit
for
is
myself to
time
make.
consuming.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not making a video edit. Like if I'm sitting in my living room, like right now I could be in my boxes. I'm not, but I'm just saying like if I'm doing this show, like this is why stereo, I could sit anywhere and just do this. And I
Yeah.
don't have to worry about video. More importantly, like there are like studies where it says like podcasters when they try to post their stuff on there, it's not like
Mhm.
when you're just listening to the radio, you're listening to Spotify. When you have to physically like watch a podcast live,
Yeah.
people check out after the 18th minute. And the reason why is because they hear it, but it's great to see the co-host and how they act, but nobody cares because they're just sitting down. Like
Hmm.
nobody, it's like, okay, it's 4 or 5 guys at a table and they're talking about sports and entertainment, but like you can just hear that. At that point, it's kind of moot to have a YouTube thing. So anybody that does want to do YouTube, like I would suggest it, but just know you're not going to monetize. The reason why is because if you're not already on YouTube and making money, you're not going to join YouTube and making money. That's why
And
you
I
have like the, oh,
too,
go ahead.
you should have like 100 or something viewers or something before you can do or have promotional features on it. That shit is slavery.
Yeah, bro. Like I'll give you a story. So I watch battle rap, right? So Ultimate Rap League, they would have a pay-per-view and then like, a couple weeks later they would post the actual like battle and they would do like each battle they would drop one day and then another day. But they started to notice that they were getting capped monetarily. They would get a million views from YouTube and then they would end up maybe getting like $3,000. I'm like, wait, so you trying to tell me I get a million views per video? And I'm dropping this shit pretty much like every other week. But you're giving us $3,000. So how do you support people that aren't the MKBHDs and the your average consumer? The only people from YouTube that I know that have made money are the ones who talk about the fact that they've made money. They make videos saying how I monetize on YouTube. the MKBHD, it's the unbox therapy. Like if you are going to review an iPhone, yeah, they're going to give you money because they know for a fact Apple's going to contact you and say, hey, we're going to put you in a commercial. But they ain't putting no black people on there at all. And even what is it, like once upon a time when Breakfast Club was actually funny, remember people used to go to YouTube and watch it, but then people realized, you know what, if I just post the clip on Twitter, like I get the same engagement. But the thing is, they weren't getting money from it. So when Charlemagne did the what was that interview with Soldier Boy, now that had more engagement on Twitter than it did on YouTube. The Drake, like that part, like everybody saw that and they were like, wait, I ain't got to go.
If your asses want more, download the stereo app. If your asses want more, download the stereo app. Thank you for listening to Loud Mouth.